Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Our first question for our guest today: in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
I am Mark Simonsen. I'm the Business Development Director for Baseplan Software. I work out of our Las Vegas and our Sydney offices. And I'm also the founder of the Rental Journal, which is a publication that's dedicated to the equipment rental industry, which has written articles and also a podcast.
Fantastic. Question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
Well, for me personally, I've found the best thing, I've actually learned a lot more about myself. I think when I before I was sort of managing people or managing a line along with people, I thought I knew everything. And as you start managing more and more people, you start to learn more about how you can actually become a better person by the way that you manage them, and then how you can actually make them a better person as well. So I think there's a lot comes out of actually working in a team and actually achieving goals together as well.
I like that. So mutual improvement. You're both kind of helping each other get better.
Yeah.
I like that. Great comment. Question number 3. I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. So I think the way I see it is if someone isn't a shareholder, or if they're not a part owner, or if they don't have some sort of equity in the company, sometimes people have these expectations that their employees should be putting the same amount of effort in as either the manager or the owner or whoever it might be in that instance. So I think engagement is obviously a challenge, but I think you got to probably have the right level of expectations on that person and their role to make sure it fits with what the actual dimensions are of the actual business and team and all that sort of stuff. So I think if you want to get someone engaged, you probably need to find out what makes them tick, because every single person is going to be a little bit different, and money might not be the answer. So I think it's really important to actually learn and understand each person in your team, so then you can help motivate them to actually have a better fit within the company.
That's a great comment, because you're absolutely right. There's this feeling that money is universally valued by people as the number one thing, and it's not always the case. Everybody, as you pointed out, there's different things that make different people tick. So that individual approach is definitely something to give some serious thought to. So great comment. Question number 4, what other piece of advice would you give to leaders of teams?
Look, I think, as I said before, I would take the time to actually learn to understand your team better. So I wouldn't, one of the mistakes that I made, or I've made multiple times, is I make assumptions. And if you make assumptions, it's going to cause other problems. And along with that, if you start comparing yourself to others, it's also going to cause other problems as well. So comparing yourself to other managers or to other competitors or other departments. And so I like the quote, comparison is the thief of joy. Mm-hmm. So don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry if you're even encouraging your team members. Make sure that they're not worrying about how they're going against each other or whatnot. Make sure that they're just driven to hit those little goals, those little wins. So then overall, you sort of got the bigger picture in mind.
Great comments, great insights about making sure that we don't compare too much. I like that a lot. Question number 5. What other successful leaders of teams would you like to recognize that have had a positive influence in your life?
Yeah, so look, the person that's had the biggest influence on me, it'd be great to get him on this podcast, is someone called Gary Vaynerchuk. And he's the CEO of VaynerMedia and a few other companies as well. But I would say, listening to him and just understanding the way he thinks and the way he engages, he's a great leader. And I think he's had a great ability to self-reflect during his progression of his career as well. So like he's someone that I think, without a doubt, has had a big impact. I've never met him in person. That's the crazy part. But just listening to the way he talks and talks about how he's gone through his life, he's a great person.
Well, that's a great recommendation. Thank you for recognizing Gary. Yeah, he's had an influence on a lot of people, hasn't he? So, Mark, thank you so much for being on the. There's one more question we got to ask. I can't forget about the my favorite one of the bunch here, which is tell us about your first job.
Yeah, so my first casual job, I was actually working in the toy department at Target, which was fun. But my first full-time job, I was actually working at an electrical wholesaler who was selling electrical parts and goods out, and that sort of led me to to get, I guess, a bit of understanding of what I liked and what I didn't like, which then eventually led me into the software space.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's what we learn a lot about in that first job is what we like and what we don't like. So I certainly appreciate that. Mark, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
Yeah, so you can find through our software company, which is Baseplan. So just baseplan.com. You can also find us on LinkedIn. Me personally, you can find me on LinkedIn, Mark Simonsen. And then you can also find the Rental Journal. You can type it in Google, or you can just go to therentaljournal.com. And we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or all the different platforms as well.
Great. Thank you. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, you can find us on LinkedIn by searching Blue Sky Business Consulting. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.